Hola clase, buenas tardes. Y lo siento, I am so sorry for the delay today. My Google Drive was down all morning long. I couldn't pull up my PowerPoint, my slideshows, my anything, even my PDFs of the book. But we're just going to shorten what we were going to do today. Hoy vamos a, first of all, es martes, el 15 de septiembre de 2020, y hoy vamos a repasar los capítulos 1, 2 y 3 de la novela Piratas con una actividad de cierto y falso. So we're just going to review chapter 1 through 3 of Piratas with a true-false activity, and I was going to start chapter 4 today, but we'll go ahead and do that tomorrow on Wednesday, and then finish the week with chapter 4 on Wednesday, chapter 5 on Thursday, chapter 6 on Friday. Okay, so your true-false. I do want you to write these sentences in your notebook for you to hold on to, and then by early next week, I'm going to have you guys submit pictures of some of the assignments from this week, and I might even by Friday, we'll see. But, so you're going to write the sentences, but if we decide later that they're false, we're going to change them to make them true. So as you write them, you can either write it as is and then just write cierto, like a C for cierto if it's true, or as you're writing it and you realize it's false, feel free to just change it. But I need you to somehow mark that that you had to change it somehow. So for me, if something's wrong, that if it's a false sentence, I'll keep it as is, but then I'll cross out whatever I need to change it to make it true. And I'll explain as we go along. All right, número uno. Again, make sure that you do write these down in your notebook for cierto, falso, de capítulos 1, 2 y 3. Número uno. Henry Morgan es un pirata del mar Caribe. And notice your vocab words are in bold. Henry Morgan es un pirata del mar Caribe. Cierto o falso? So I want you to write a C next to that if you think it's true from the story, and F next to it if you think it's false. And if you need to pause to finish writing your sentences at all, feel free. Número dos. A Henry le gusta mucho su novia. Again, the word novia is in bold. A Henry le gusta mucho su novia. ¿Cierto o falso? 3. Antonio Medina es el capitán de una flota española. ¿Cierto o falso? And there's again another vocab word, fleet, like a group of ships. 4. La responsabilidad de la flota de Antonio Medina es transportar un mapa secreto a España. ¿Cierto o falso? 5. A Antonio no le importan los piratas del mar Caribe. A Antonio no le importan los piratas del mar Caribe. ¿Cierto o falso? 6. Antonio Medina y Henry Morgan quieren un mapa secreto. Antonio Medina y Henry Morgan quieren un mapa secreto. ¿Cierto o falso? And 7. Raquel es un pirata en el barco de Antonio Medina. Raquel es un pirata en el barco de Antonio Medina. ¿Cierto o falso? So again, we want to make sure we have all these sentences written out. Now as we go through them and decide if they were cierto o falso, if they were false, we're going to change whatever is false about it to make it true. So that way we have some true statements to review these chapters from. All right, número uno. I'm going to translate them for you as we go over them. Henry Morgan is a pirate of the Caribbean Sea. That is correct. Cierto. So that should have a C next to it. Número dos. A Henry le gusta mucho su novia. That is falso because he doesn't have a girlfriend. So couple ways you could change this. You could either change Henry to Antonio, because Antonio is likes his girlfriend, who is Raquel. Henry just doesn't have one. Or you could say that Henry really likes, instead of su novia, you could change su novia to la plata, because we know he really likes silver. A couple options there to change that to. But again, I do want to see the original sentence, and that you wrote it down, and that you wrote that it was false. So just like cross out Henry, and then next to it or above it, write Antonio, or cross out su novia and change that to la plata, like above it or next to it. Okay, número 3. Antonio Medina is the captain of a Spanish fleet. Cierto, that is true. He is captain of a group of ships for Spain. 4. The responsibility of Antonio's fleet, or the fleet of Antonio Medina, is to transport a secret map to Spain. That is falso. Their job is to transport silver to Spain. So let's cross out un mapa secreto and write la plata. They have to transport silver to Spain, as well as they have other objects that they transport as well. 5. Antonio does not care about the Pirates of the Caribbean Sea. Or, if we read it backwards, the Pirates of the Caribbean Sea are not important to him. They're not important to Antonio, and that is cierto. He doesn't care about them. They're not important to him, because he is also an expert in navigating. 6. Antonio Medina y Henry Morgan want a secret map. That is true. Cierto. And 7. Raquel es un pirata en el barco de Antonio Medina. That is falso. She is not a pirate. She is a woman. So let's go ahead and change, cross out un pirata, and write una mujer. Una mujer, a woman on Antonio's boat. Or you could also say she is the girlfriend of Antonio on his boat. Raquel es la novia de Antonio. That works too. Whatever makes most sense to you, as long as it is true. So that was capítulo 1. We're going to do the same thing for capítulo 2 and 3. But they're a little bit shorter. Okay, capítulo 2, and just keep it right on the same page. If you want to label it chapter 2, though, and then the next one chapter 3, that works. Okay, ¿cierto o falso? Antonio llama a sus hombres, Felipe y Carlos, a su cabina para hacer un plan a atacar los piratas. ¿Cierto o falso? Antonio llama a sus hombres, Felipe y Carlos, a su cabina para hacer un plan a atacar a los piratas. ¿Cierto o falso? En 9, Carlos interrumpe mucho a Antonio y Felipe está confuso sobre el plan. Carlos interrumpe mucho a Antonio y Felipe está confuso sobre el plan. ¿Cierto o falso? En 10, el barco de Antonio se separa de su flota y va a España. El barco de Antonio se separa de su flota y va a España. ¿Cierto o falso? So again, make sure you have these sentences down, and if they are false, we're going to cross out what's false and change it to make it true. All right, number 8. Antonio calls his men, Felipe and Carlos, to his cabin in order to make a plan to attack the pirates. That is falso. It's all true until we get to attack the pirates. He does not make a plan, or he doesn't call them to make a plan to attack the pirates. He calls them to make a plan to look for the secret map. So instead of atacar a los piratas, we can say un plan para buscar, to look for, el mapa secreto. Or you could also say to go to Puerto del Príncipe, ir a Puerto del Príncipe, or to separate from the ship, para separarse de, or from the fleet, separarse de la flota. Whatever makes most sense to you, as long as it is in fact true. 9. Carlos interrupts a lot, or interrupts Antonio a lot, and Felipe is confused about the plan. Cierto. Carlos habla mucho, so he talks a lot, so he's always interrupting. And then Felipe es un poco tonto, un poco estúpido. So that's the kind of dumb friend. So he's confused. And el barco de Antonio se separa de su flota y va a España. Antonio's boat separates from his fleet and goes to Spain. Oh, it's almost true, except this little last part here, he does not go to Spain. That's where the rest of the fleet is going, to Europe to transport their objects and their silver. But instead, he goes to Puerto del Príncipe. So just do your best on spelling, guys, or feel free to pull up the old chapters to check spelling, whatever you want to do. Or actually, a lot of it's probably in your old notes from chapters 1, 2, and 3. So that was capítulo 2. And last section, capítulo 3, Cierto, Falso. Número 11. En Puerto de Príncipe, Antonio compra una pistola, la tira y se parte. En Puerto de Príncipe, Antonio compra una pistola, la tira y se parte. ¿Cierto o falso? Doce. Antonio ve que hay líquido mágico en su pistola. Antonio ve que hay líquido mágico en su pistola. ¿Cierto o falso? 13. Los piratas atacan en el mercado y las personas gritan. Los piratas atacan en el mercado y las personas gritan. ¿Cierto o falso? 14. Henry tortura a los dedos y la mano de Carlos y Carlos revela quién tiene el mapa secreto. Henry tortura a los dedos y la mano de Carlos y Carlos revela quién tiene el mapa secreto. ¿Cierto o falso? 15. Antonio Medina quiere escapar de Puerto de Príncipe, pero Raquel no quiere irse. Irse comes from the phrase se va. Se va. It's just the infinitive, meaning to do it. 15. Antonio quiere escapar de Puerto de Príncipe, pero Raquel no quiere irse. And 16. Antonio y Raquel se van corriendo hacia su barco. Antonio y Raquel se van corriendo hacia su barco. And did we even check the last one? Oops. Oh yeah, we did. Okay, just making sure. Brain fart. Okay, so let's go ahead and check these last ones. Again, make sure that all the sentences are down in your notebook and that you're changing them if they were false. So number 11, in Puerto del Príncipe, Antonio buys a gun, throws it, and it breaks. Cierto, that is true. He does do all of that in the city of Puerto del Príncipe or Puerto del Príncipe. 12, Antonio sees that there is a magic liquid in his gun. Falso. There's no magic liquid in his gun. That is the kind of like the secret treasure that everyone's looking for. But first they're looking for el mapa secreto, the secret map, and that is what will lead them to the líquido mágico, this magic liquid, and that is also what what Antonio finds in his gun when he throws it and it breaks. So let's change líquido mágico to el mapa secreto. So he sees that there is the secret map in his gun. 13. The pirates attack in the market and people yell. Cierto, that is true. 14. Henry tortures Carlos's hands and fingers. So Henry tortures, sorry, it's all backwards. Henry tortures Carlos's fingers and hands, like tortures him with his fingers and hands. Remember, he was pointing the gun at him. And Carlos reveals who has the secret map. Cierto, that is true. Hi. So his violent tactics worked. 15. Antonio Medina wants to escape from Puerto de Príncipe, but Raquel doesn't want to leave. That is true. That is according to Felipe. And 16, Antonio and Raquel leave running toward their boat. Falso, that is not true. Raquel does not leave. Antonio and his men leave. So you can change Raquel to sus hombres, or los hombres. They're really his men, sus hombres. So again, make sure that you have all of these 16 sentences in your notebook labeled with the date, martes el 15 de septiembre. And again, I apologize for the delay today, being able to go over all this with you guys and upload the assignment, but at least you don't have to turn it in today. If you do have to have some extra time to get it done, you're holding onto it, you're not turning it in, you're just keeping it in your notebook, and then by Friday or Monday I will be asking you to submit photos of specific things from your notebook. But make sure that you are staying on top of your work, because when we come back in person next week, we are going to be picking up right where we left off with the book, and so you do not want to be behind. And just as always, let me know if you need anything. Y muchas gracias.